Heritage in Peril is a series of activities looking at alternative and digital approaches to preservation. Through this initiative, we at Swissnex Boston joined forces with the Swiss Touch campaign to support an interdisciplinary collaboration between the MIT Future Heritage Lab and the University of Lausanne's Collart project. The collaboration started when we serendipitously introduced Michel of the University of Lausanne to Azra Akšamija of MIT's Future Heritage Lab in early 2018. And what started as an informal conversation has now become a very meaningful collaboration.
What led me to collaborate with Patrick was really the approach to heritage preservation that University of Lausanne and his team has.
The aim of the project is to digitize the archive of the Swiss archaeologist linked to the history of the Balshamin temple and reproduce a 3D model in order to keep the cultural memory of this heritage.
They have a unique approach that is not colonial, that is not trying to keep the memory of this place in the hands of the West and those who have the means and tools to preserve it, but really to share that knowledge and that important inheritance of Palmyra, both with audiences in Europe, but also in the Middle East.
Today's workshop at NUMU Studio in Cambridge is a small step in this direction. With the help of creative middle and high schoolers, Patrick and Azra will test their ideas for a multidisciplinary collaborative workshop exploring alternative ways to preserve cultural heritage. And their intention is to create a larger workshop with Syrian refugees in Jordan, where they will create future heritage.
We love bringing the real world into our students' education here. For almost every single studio, we have our students working directly with clients or we bring in experts from the field. And in this particular situation, we're working with a researcher from MIT, and that's an incredible experience for our students to be involved directly with a practitioner's work.
We have chosen to produce a tablecloth drawing on the symbolism of tables as physical objects that bring people together. This is a compelling experiment because we're going to gather around the Swiss Touch table for conversational alternative approaches to preservation. Tonight, we're gathered at the suggestive Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum to talk about the incredible example of the convergence of disciplines that is the University of Lausanne's Collart project and its collaboration with the MIT Future Heritage Lab.
Boston is a very interesting ecosystem for our partners from Switzerland working in digital humanities and the arts. It offers an incredible array of museums and collections, such as the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum right here, that are dedicated to developing new approaches to the preservation and the mediation of cultural heritage from an institutional perspective.
I think especially in this day and age when there are so many heritage sites that are in peril, it is absolutely critical to try and look for every way, not just alternative ways, but every way to try and preserve a heritage that belongs to all of humanity, not just the place of conflict that this heritage happens to be physically located in. And that was something that was very interesting in this panel, the different techniques from embroidery to lighting to virtual 3D reconstruction of a destroyed temple, and how all of these little pieces of the jigsaw can come together to help us understand a culture and also to preserve it for the people who are from Palmyra and from Syria.
The Collart project and the collaboration between the University of Lausanne and the MIT Future Heritage Lab is a prime example of the work we do at SVISSNEX. We see our role as knowledge exchange facilitators striving to bring people with innovative and future-making ideas together, to foster new connections and to nurture cross-disciplinary and international collaborations. These are the values at the core of both SVISSNEX and the Swiss Touch campaign, which brings people from all around the United States together around a table for innovative, meaningful, and creative conversations, presenting compelling topics in unusual locations.